Ladies and gentlemen, how's everybody doing? Holy, hopefully you guys can hear me like always. Give it a couple seconds for let people run in. Stack, great to see you, buddy. David, hope everyone's doing well. PayPal today, holy, ran up a little bit. We're almost at $70, $69 a share. I just checked my stock today. My average price is $61.34. I wonder over the next couple months how well that will go down. So, if for example, um, you know, if it keeps running, I personally think that the fair value of this company right now is $90 a share. Things, however, whenever companies run up, like Meta, for example, that things can sway both ways, right? Let me push the camera a little bit. Um, but so, like, if you look around, Jesse Dow, for example, thinks this stock could be $150 a share. I don't know if I necessarily agree. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I have a lot of stuff to cover because there was big news today for PayPal. I don't know if anyone was paying attention, but very exciting. Hi, Katie. How's it going? George, good to see you, man. Great to have everyone here. Okay, tell me if you want the music back because some people said they didn't like it and then I turned it off and then now it just seems so quiet to me. To me, I kind of like the music. It fills in the gaps. Okay, let's jump in. Let me bring up my screen. PayPal since 2017, or PayPal has been crashing to low since 2017. Look at this, guys. This is all the way back, 2018, 2017 has been running and running and running. And then during COVID, just absolutely exploded because where are people going to actually put a lot of their money? You know? So, people rushed into play that. Okay, good. If people like the music, I'm putting the music on then. I liked it too. I liked it too. Let me put on the music. I'll put it a little bit lower. How about that? Oh my god. That sucks. Going all that time with no sound, eh? Okay, let me restart. All I was saying was the fact that, we haven't seen lows since 2017. Um, these lows of PayPal and my average price is around $61 a share. But recently, what ended up happening that's making the stock push up over 4% right now is the fact that PayPal actually just sold off $43.7 billion worth of a loan portfolio for their buy now, pay later solution. Everyone can hear me now? Good. That being said, we made around $1.8 billion off of that deal, which then allowed us to, one, we're taking $1 billion of that and buying shares back at this price because obviously we're really, really cheap right now. Personally, I think that this is going to run up much, much higher. At least $90 a share is what I think the intrinsic value of the stock is. And it's such a growth area. Like, I think global payments in general, I have this study showing, maybe I'll bring it up for you guys. You guys will be able to see it. It's a McKinsey and Company that actually put out this article talking about how I think it's till 2030 that there's going to be a 9% compounded annual growth rate in total payments, in global payment volumes. Now, for the company that owns 433 million users, this can be quite interesting considering the idea that the stock is down so much right now. Obviously, they are going to take a large portion of this share. Sorry, this is still 2026. But that being said, oh, cat just kicked over the light. Geez, what have these streams been like lately? I mean, it's just been hectic as ever. Trying to get the stuff together, everything's falling apart on me. That being said, Asia is where most of this payment is actually going to go. Now, did you guys actually know that PayPal owns the only solution in all of China that they own the entire 100% network in China? Now, what that means is that most times, like for example, Amex was able to enter the China's market as well, but the only way that they were going to let them do that is if they were actually going to step in and say, the CCP said, we want 50% of your entire market that you end up here in China. Okay, so Amex had to give that up in order to gain access. PayPal kept 100% of their business. That's nuts. That's nuts. That's the first time that's ever happened, and it probably won't be replicated for a very long time. So Asia is expected to be the fastest growing segment of this total global payment growth. And obviously, PayPal is maybe one of the largest beneficiaries of that change. Now, they recently also got, because of that, sale of $43.7 billion worth of their buy now, pay later solution, which, if you guys don't know, maybe you guys don't know this, that there's zero APY on that entire solution. Okay, so it's so funny to sell a product that actually makes you 0% cash back. How does that end up working, right? The idea is that it's the transaction take rate is really what they're considering as the take rate for the total loan portfolio. What that means is that, for example, if you guys know about Stripe or Visa or any payment provider, whenever you tap a card or money gets transferred, usually they take around 2.9%. For the longest time, PayPal was actually higher than that, 3.5%. Venmo is much lower than that at 1.99%. So competitive for different reasons, right? Either the most profitable or, the lowest segment. But that being said, guys, whenever people are actually paying back their buy now, pay later solutions, you have to understand how it actually works. Okay. Whenever people are paying back their buy now, pay later, it's always 90% from a debit card. Now, debit cards, ACH transfers, however you want to call it, are by far the highest take rate for all of these payment providers. So because of that actual segment and the risk that people take versus PayPal, which is much lower compared to any of the other buy now, pay later solutions, that they actually make so much money off these buy now, pay later solutions that they don't need an APY on those products. That's why they're beating out the Affirms and the Afterpays, because they don't need a take rate. Apple Pay does the exact same thing. If one company is offering 0% and the other one is trying to take 1%, there's obviously going to be a natural winner there, and it's going to be the PayPals and the Apple Pays. So this is why I'm a big believer. I mean, the stock is going to be running up on this if they're able to capitalize, buy more of their shares. If the company is buying their shares, why isn't everyone else, right? Total addressable market is going up, everything. Now, this is not the full rundown of PayPal for why I like it. Obviously, some people say that this is a dying brand. The real reason is Venmo and Braintree, right? Braintree is sort of the payment provider for all the largest brands, the Walmarts, Targets, all of these massive companies. Uber uses them, Google uses them, whole bunch of different massive names. Braintree is that section. It's a white label solution that not many people talk about because it doesn't have PayPal's name slapped all over it. But it's still, PayPal's still the parent company. That being said, on the other side, Venmo, you do see a lot of people using it, especially for my American audience in the chat. Like those people or the Venmo solutions, although they have a much less take rate, it is the most used mobile wallet in America. Do you think that Venmo is going to continue to grow? Do you think that PayPal in the UK, all over Europe, and all of these other solutions are still going to stay strong on PayPal's branded checkout? If so, then they're going to be continuing to buy stock. They have free cash flow for days. They have all of these great things. Companies on a corporate side are willing to buy up their debt. What don't we like about this company? I look at here. Wait, let me bring up my screen. Sounds risky to you with China. Why? Why? If they have 100% ownership, why does that sound risky, Doug? I think it's risky for every other company. I think. So let me make this just as big as I can. That's a little too big, isn't it? Okay. I just tried to look quickly at PayPal's active accounts, which are still growing quite strong. They've kind of plateaued around the 433 million users. But then the transactions per user, as you can see, this past quarter was 53.1. All the way back in Q1 of 2019 was 37.9. It actually dipped here for a little bit because there was such an explosive amount of growth in accounts because of COVID. But still, like this is what's really exciting. People think everyone's leaving PayPal's platform. It's not true. The average person that uses PayPal continues to use them more and more. Same thing you can see over here on the total payment, volumes. It continues to climb quarter over quarter over quarter, and that's sort of where you see that cross between per transactions on accounts and then active accounts. Once you add those up, you can kind of see that displayed in TPV, total payment volume, which is really, if you're a payment provider, the golden standard of how good the company is actually doing. Let me take a couple questions. Can you stop looking so worried in your thumbnails? I honestly haven't even taken a new thumbnail picture in so long because I've just been doing the live stream. So I just use an old picture whenever I have one available. On many of the coin YouTube auctions, PayPal gets 2/3 of the payment options as PayPal and Venmo. Yeah, of course. What a good call out that you're saying is that there might be 3 large options: PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal is 2 of those. So very exciting. Now, the biggest sort of bear case for this stock is right here. This is it in a nutshell. I always make it too big. Transaction rates. Okay. Whenever you're looking at the transaction take rates versus their actual expense rates, expenses are climbing and transaction take rates are going down. Okay. That is the biggest worry for PayPal. And I think whenever this stock does hit $90, I might get a little bit greedy, $95, $100. After that, I'm leaving this stock. I think that this is more of a value stock is getting way too oversold. Okay. And although there are some worrying signs, you can look at the profitability of the company, which is what investors are wanting to see right now. And you're seeing net income is continuing to climb. And then you see this line here that I put on here, non-GAAP EPS, earnings per share. Okay. It looks like it's tracking the bars very, very closely. And it is, except in the later quarters, it's just getting further and further away from those bars on the above side. Okay. And the reason is because there's less shares that are available, which means the earnings per share goes up. That's their ability to buy more and more shares every single year. Like I said, they're buying 5 billion every single year. That does add up. That adds up. It makes the company more profitable for shareholders. So, what do you want? And then what's also exciting, this is also what I wanted to cover in this video. Another company that I also like is Mercado Libre. Okay. Does anyone follow this company in Latin America? Because they're like the Amazon in Latin America, except they also took the PayPal route. Okay. So they have the e-commerce platform through Mercado Libre, and then they have another product called Mercado Pago. Okay. Now, my cat is just going nuts. I'm going to keep him in here for 15 more minutes. Come see me. Okay. Hey, Juan, how's it going? Good stuff, buddy. I like that people are liking the background music. Okay. That being said, don't get me distracted. I've got so much ADHD. I get so pulled off track. Let me pull up Mercado Libre's charts as well, so then you can see this company, because this is one of the best companies that have performed. It's like people talk about Amazon performing very well. Mercado Pago, or Mercado Libre, whenever you compare the company, is actually done twice the performance of Amazon in terms of stock price. Twice. It's almost double, and it tracks about 2 times as fast as Amazon. So it's a very interesting one. And the reason why I'm bringing up this stock whenever talking about PayPal is that PayPal has taken a sizable investment in this company. I think they own, at the time it was, what was it? $750 million at $300 a share. Now it's like $1,200 a share. Wait, maybe I'll just show you. I'll bring up the chart. Boom. Okay. If we just zoom out, this is Mercado Libre's chart. Okay, currently $1,200 a share. Okay, now let's take a couple of years back. Let's look at this, going back to 2008 when this was a $30 stock. Now this is not where Amazon purchased it. It was more like March of 2018. Where was it? March of 2018, somewhere around there. $300-400 is where they purchased, and they continue to hold this stock. They've not sold. They continue to hold. Holy Jesse. Wow, man. Relax. This man is going to make so much money off of PayPal. He just doesn't even care. Thank you so much, Jesse. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. He even bought Marqeta after I made a video about it yesterday, and then was like, oh, don't buy this stock. I'm not a big fan of this stock. Jesse just goes, okay, I put 15 grand or something into the company, or 35 grand or something, just to test it out. And he's just buying options for it. Right. So, anyway, that's Mercado Libre, which PayPal is just, benefiting off of like crazy. So let's take a look at that, for example. Jesse, man, what is going on? That's a second one. Holy. Dude, that might be a record day right there. I don't know if I've ever gotten a $100 donation. So thank you so much, man. That's nuts. Jesse is the man. Jesse is the man. I'll keep that up for a bit. Jesse's the man. Okay, let me let me go on to talk about Mercado Libre, because this is a company. Oh, George, I wanted to keep your comment up, but that's just going to take too much screen away. Okay. This is a company that PayPal benefits from greatly, and I'll tell you why as we go along. Okay. This is their gross merchandise volume. This will explain a lot of what's going on. Back in 2018, March of 2018, like I said, whenever they made that $750 million strategic investment, what they also said is, yeah, no, we're going to grow with you, Mercado Libre. We're going to offer our services, but you better put it through our platform. So as this company is growing, bringing through this total gross merchandise volume of what now in this last quarter, they're bringing in, $9.4 billion. That doesn't even seem right. Is that 9.6, 9.4? Okay. While selling 300 plus million items through their company, this Amazon of Latin America, of Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, for which growth rates are just going through the roof, right? Still, like, look at this. Mexico's still growing by 62%, Argentina 34, 39%, Brazil 26%. These are unbelievable growth rates. And then, this is also really cool with how PayPal's business actually works. And here Mercado Libre sort of shows it off well, is through gross merchandise volume as a growth rate. Now you can see Argentina is kind of taking off. Now, if you know anything about Argentina, they are growing by 100%, by 107%. But is it because people in Argentina are just loving Mercado Libre right now? Or is it because inflation rates are going through the roof? But still, whenever you're a payment provider, you're unaffected by inflation. In fact, inflation is sort of, you already have an inflation hedge whenever you're taking a percentage of the total transactions, right? So it doesn't matter if Argentina is doubling year over year over year. It's terrible for the population. I'm not saying it's not a problem, but companies like Mercado Libre and PayPal especially can be protected by that downside because of how much money they're actually bringing on. Yeah, Mark, you're so right. That's exactly. Yeah, I mean it's true. Yeah, Jesse is Jesse's a generous man and doing great for himself, and obviously, you know, gives back. So I appreciate that, Jesse. Holy. That being said, you know, both things that we look at, whether it's the fintech revenue for Mercado Libre or you know the commerce revenue, there's a massive spike here. But as you can see, this is from you know the Q4s. These are holiday spending, but it's still very important. And then I don't want to get into Mercado Libre too much, but obviously it is a very exciting company, a company that I hold. They continue to actually, you know, offer more of like what Amazon Prime is doing, where they actually handle the shipments. So you can see managed network penetration continues to climb over and over and over. Quite a cool stock. Maybe we'll cover it one day. You know, average revenue per users is just a very exciting, you know, factor whenever looking at this stock in general. What did Matt say here? That's a complete lie. Inflation is terrible for PayPal here. You still have to convert from Argentinian pesos to US dollars. Well, I'm not saying that there's not, you know, a conversion risk, but the fact that payment providers taking a percentage of total revenues is not a complete lie. They do factor in the downside of that, and they can keep it in Argentinian pesos. They don't have to actually transfer it out of those dollars. In fact, they hold currencies in almost all the currencies that they actually hold. So if they are making large purchases, then they can, you know, switch it out. But for the most part, they don't even need to change it. They're like, that's what I think a lot of people get confused on the idea of PayPal is that, like, I wouldn't even necessarily say that they're a US dollar company just in general. Like, for example, they just did a, what was it? A convertible note using Chinese yen or something. Like, they don't even do their entire business just through US dollars. They do a lot of things with a bunch of different currencies, which allows them to actually manage their risks. Smarter men than me are managing that. So yeah. But back to PayPal in terms of, where is it? In terms of their charts, not Mercado Libre. However, they are a really big part of, well, will be a really big part of PayPal if they continue to grow. You know, we still have that great strategic investment, all that shares. It's still continuing to grow. I think Shopify also holds a percentage of Mercado Libre as well, but don't hold me to that. I'm just feeling like I remember that from somewhere. Yeah, could be wrong. Where is it? Okay. Maybe I'll take a couple questions. They can hedge currency risk. Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah. So, like, I'm not saying that they do need to hold it in Argentinian pesos the entire time, Matt. But what I'm saying is, like, they don't need to bring it to US dollars. They can bring it to whatever they want and then use that currency in that local area if people are also needing that currency as well. You know, not everything needs to go back to US dollars and then, you know, continue to convert it every single time. Okay. Yeah, no, but for the most part, Big fan of PayPal right now just because of how cheap it is. I mean, this is not a stock that I think will beat out the likes of Cash App in the long run. I'm a big believer in Venmo, but the growth rates speak for themselves. Cash App is a faster grower than PayPal. So I'm not going to stick around for the longest term, but it's just such a cheap stock that I have to be a buyer. Like eventually value does need to take into account over growth. And that's what I'm excited about in this stock. One second here. But maybe, I don't know who in this chat actually holds PayPal, looking at PayPal, or, you know, what's sort of the price targets that you're looking for at this stock? Because to me, $90 to $100, and then I'm out. This is more of a trade for me. And I know for the most part, I am a long-term holder. But yeah. That's the stock right there. You have 78 shares at $64. William, you're holding, you think it's going to get back to $200. So this is my worry too, is that people look at the actual chart and think, okay, well, if we've been here, then at least we could do half of this, right? Or something along these lines. But the problem is that this was never fair value for this company. In fact, this was management, this was a problem by management. They were really guiding for so much more during COVID than what was really going to happen. Another big company that faced this risk as well was Shopify. Shopify was a massive proponent saying that, you know, a large amount of their growth was going to actually come through and then it wasn't going to stop. There's actually a chart that they show off. Maybe I can bring that up really quick. And so these two companies are the first ones that I think of that got so hurt during COVID as people were starting to go back to work, because people did stop shopping online nearly as much as they were going to, when these two management teams really didn't think that was going to happen. Like it hurt. It hurt. Where is it? Oh, I can't seem to find it. Yeah, anyway. Maybe I'll do a couple questions. I only have 2 minutes, or maybe I'll just look for this chart just before I go. Yeah, this was it. This is not as big as I'd want it to be. I found it here though, but it's not presented right. I know there's another one that shows it off a little bit differently, but sort of what happened was, you can see this in the background. I don't know if maybe they have a bigger one, but anyway, you can see it in the background. The actual black line here is what happened during COVID. E-commerce has a percentage of total retail sales, and it absolutely spiked. Now, they thought that it was going to level out the way that it did before, like sort of just stay stagnant and growing. But it didn't. It crashed. And that was totally out of Shopify's guidance. And that's why the stock came crashing down. Oh, well, right? Okay, let me move my Streamlabs over and I'll take a couple of questions. Shoot the moon, thinking of buying. Well, okay. So yeah, a bunch of people are saying great things. So you have Mercado Pago, easy to use, perfect. Yeah, no, from what I heard, it's super nice and big competitor to Nubank. But if you hold both, you're kind of a little protected, right? Kind of hedging both bets. That just Latin America in general will be a big growing factor. I hold it. New CEO will be critical. Yeah, I think he'll be really young. I think he'll be a young person that brings some light into the company. At least that's what I'm hoping for. I hope it's just someone internally that gets promoted as well. I don't want some new CEO, but who knows? Thanks, David. Holy, appreciate it, man. My target is $145. Yeah, let me hear some reasons why. When is the CEO leaving? This is the way my brain works. I just cut my own self off. The CEO is leaving. He's trying to leave by the beginning of 2024. So, January or whatever. He said he'd stay longer if the search continues for longer, if they don't find the right match. But for the most part, that's when they're expecting that he's going to be taken off. Yeah. So, uh, 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 kind of just joined, but you think PayPal is fair value then? Not right now. I think it's undervalued. I think probably $90 is fair value for this stock. That's definitely what my number is. I think that it's way oversold for how profitable this company is. Share buybacks, um, the total addressable market that's growing, and the factors within the company that are still growing and being extremely competitive, like Venmo, like Braintree, like their buy now pay later solution. There's a bunch of things that are really really exciting. And one thing that PayPal and Cash App are or Block are so different on is PayPal is like one of the best acquirers ever. Okay, there's like one or two names that I could think of that maybe they had purchased or were intent to purchase a company that I was not a fan of. And the opposite side is with Block, right? There was one or two companies that I did like that they acquired, and the rest were just terrible. Like, are you telling me Cash App couldn't have created a service that Afterpay created, but yet they paid $11 billion for it and is benefiting like barely off of the organic growth it's being seen? So I'm not necessarily a fan of that, but whatever. I know nothing of this company. I remember it being a super hot IPO, but I don't actually know anything of it at all. It's not something I ever took a look into. Maybe one day though. Is it a fintech? I seriously don't know anything about it. I just know it was really really big at the time. I think it was led by Bill Ackman, right? Oh, was it a SPAC? I think it was like a really large SPAC. Um, I'm not sure. However, I've been hearing some rumors that Chris is potentially looking into this stock, um, but those are just rumors. I haven't actually spoke to him myself in a little bit. You know what I have been doing with Chris Patel is playing chess against him. He needs to up his game. I think I could play him blindfolded. He's not very good, but um, he's trying. How do you feel about Jack Dorsey? That is a worry for me. He obviously knows what's popular. He knows what's cool. He understands trends. He loves to overpay for company or for employees. He loves to not care about the expense side and taking the company profitable nearly as much as like a growth at all costs. And I think that was sort of Twitter's problem. And that's sort of where I'm basing a lot of that thesis, is the idea that, that company was growing all the time and the stock price was kind of stagnant for an extremely long period of time. Is that going to happen at Cash App? I don't think so. Like in the most recent quarter, he was talking about tightening the belt on expenses, not growing headcount nearly as fast, doing a bunch of the things that a CEO needs to do. Like I think what Elon did with Twitter was kind of a weird example of showing the leniency that Jack Dorsey can give in his companies. That if you can cut a company's headcount by 80% and the company is still functioning, wow, right? And that was not directly after Jack Dorsey had left, but obviously he was there to foster some of that culture as well. So it is something that I'm looking at and I think about a lot, but I just think Cash App is such an insane product. Square is such a good product that that's a lot of where my money is going as well. Jay, it wasn't actually 30 billion. It was $11 billion. You can look up articles. It'll tell you it was 29 billion. The truth is it was an all stock deal. And by the time the paper was actually signed, the stock had dropped so much. It was actually $11 billion. So But still, $11 billion for a company that brings in like, I think it's like 150 million or less of contribution profit per quarter. It's quite tiny. You think PayPal has room to cut costs? They're cutting costs like crazy. Okay, this show is going to go a little bit long, but I started a little bit weird. The cat was in the room. I was getting all distracted. Whatever. Where is it, my friends? Let's go back to PayPal really quick, and maybe I'll put out a fuller video or a full video, pre-recorded video on PayPal as well. But where is it? Let's go through PayPal's actual expenses. Let's look at what they've been doing with their expenses, and you can kind of see what their cost-cutting abilities has been, because people are looking to, PayPal, and they're saying, okay, well, users went down by 2 million and all these things, and you kind of take a deeper look at things and you go, oh, okay, maybe that's why users are not using the platform as much, because of this sheet right here. This is non-transaction operating expenses. I'll bring this up for you guys. Boom. Let me drop off the screen in general. William, I'll remove you as well. Total non-transaction operating expenses were down 12%. Okay. As it relates to Q1 of 2021, it was up 31%, then down 8%, or then only up 8%, then down 12%. So they've been cost cutting for a while now, which is really, really exciting. Sales and marketing is one of them that I think is, very exciting as well. Obviously, I think they're big believers that one, the OpEx had to, or the sales and marketing had to be super strong during COVID. There was a ton of reason to be marketing like crazy. Now, maybe they don't think so. Maybe they're just trying to get out as much money or as much free cash flow as possible to buy shares of the company, which they're doing, $5 billion worth. They just took out a $5 billion loan as well. They could potentially be, gearing up for a large acquisition. If I'm not incorrect, didn't they try to go after wait, let me make sure that I double check it, because I always speak before I. Yeah, they were in talks to buy Pinterest for $45 billion, right? So, which is also something that I wouldn't have wanted that deal, okay? But they're agile. It's exciting knowing that that fell through. Wouldn't have wanted it. But if they were to purchase a company like what I said online, buy Robinhood, man. That fits into your business so much more than anything else, right? Like, they are looking to add equities onto their platform. Pinterest, why? I don't know, man. Look, just Google it. It's the New York Times. They just Meet Kevin added PayPal today to his respective ETF. Really? That's surprising to me. I don't think that fits the pricing power sort of thing. Does PayPal have pricing power? Does PayPal have pricing power? I don't think so. They have a large portion of the market, but you look at Venmo. Why does Venmo have a take rate of 1.99% and PayPal's branded checkout has a take rate of 3.5% if they had pricing power? If they had pricing power, Venmo would go up to 3.5%. So now they did say that Venmo's margins will be climbing, but they're not going to be climbing that much. I promise you that. Do you think so, Grim Peter? I'm a pretty big fan of Meet Kevin, not based on his takes or something like this, but maybe not based on his takes. What I meant is not based on his actions. I don't think just promoting things to his audience to be purchased over and over and over, and it seems like a very self-fulfilling brand. But that being said, the man's stock picks have been quite good. He's been pretty forward-focused, futuristic look. I kind of place myself in that area of looking for pricing power as well. If he's just looking for a quick flip, then we're like-minded in that case. where I'm not actually looking at this company to be held in my portfolio for the next 10 years. If I can get out in the next 6 months with 50, maybe 55% gains, I'd be happy. I'd be very happy. And yeah, that's what I'm looking for PayPal. It's undervalued right now. That's the way I buy shares of companies. And I have been moving more of my portfolio to be more towards that pricing power, more towards those amazing companies. Like, for example, like I love me some Shopify. Everyone knows that. I love Airbnb. I love Nubank. I love SoFi. These companies with real moats. You know what I mean? Those are the companies that I really think will be the future of my portfolio, and I continue to buy more stuff like that. Nvidia as well is a large portion of my portfolio. But yeah, I'll call it there. 41 minutes or so. It's been quiet on the SoFi front. So let me know what you guys want me to do as well, because this is what I've been thinking. I've been wanting to do, for the real watchers of this call, I want to do SoFi mainly. Okay, but there's just so little news. It's either I continue to come out with new content to show you guys a new perspective of looking at SoFi. That could be exciting. I also want to do a little bit more of like stream interaction. Like, how can I bring challenges or put my money where my mouth is? Maybe we'll do some portfolio creation on stream. Maybe I'll do physical challenges, drinking streams. I don't know. I just think it's something more fun. Like, it's all about finance, stocks, fintech, everything like this. But how can we also integrate something that's a little bit more enjoyable to watch? Because that's what I think I'm not even enjoying myself with the stream, is like it takes a little too long to get started. These sorts of things. So I don't know. I need to figure out why you hate Google, though. 10% of my portfolio. Jacob, so a controversial take is a controversial take. I could be completely wrong. I like it doesn't mean that I'm 100% right. But that's the way I feel, my babies. So I think whenever a company really does not have pricing power, like if there's a ton of competition pouring into the market, then they have to be priced that way. So this is what's happening with PayPal. There's a ton of competition bringing the price down, and PayPal went from a $300 stock down to $60-something. So I'm not saying that Google wouldn't be great after getting repriced, and I don't think it'll have that type of drop off, but will it have a 25% drop off? I think it could definitely do, or I think that could definitely happen. But that's just my take. Like, I don't want to build anyone else's portfolio other than mine. I'm not even shorting Google. So I just can't imagine an industry where there's so many players that are able to funnel in, and that does not affect the largest person with the largest moat. I don't know a single industry where that's happened. Okay. And a lot of people look, like I talked to Stephen Fiorillo about this, and they look in the past, they go, yeah, but look at the moat that they've created over there. Yeah. Those days are not 2 day. Okay. 2 days is different than those days. And there's a completely new product that the likes of even Bill Gates are saying this is the most revolutionary product since, graphical interface, like the actual browsers, being able to actually see computing, right? Whenever smart people say stuff like that, I have to think, okay, you know what? The traditional players are going to change. And now that doesn't mean Google won't be the largest player in large language model search and these sorts of things. Like Bard could be way better than ChatGPT. Everyone could be using that service. But I do think that that'll cost more, and the likelihood that they will keep up a 90+% share will be hard in this news change. Prove me wrong. And like, so tell me what you guys think about changing up the stream to sort of, make that a little bit more exciting. Like, should we build a portfolio together where I literally show you the percentages of these fintechs that I'm placing my money into? It won't be my portfolio, but maybe it'll be, I don't know. I thought maybe I'll add $100 every stream or something like this, or based on ad revenue or donations. I haven't really thought it through. And then maybe we can just build a portfolio based on the things that I'm talking about. And then you guys can visually see how I'm actually weighing these companies. Because what I think I'm doing is I'm placing a lot of these bets. SoFi to start, then Nubank, then PayPal, then Cash App, then all these different stocks, and then I see the smart investors start to pour into them, and then now these stocks are actually starting to rise. So, um, you know, my picks have been on point. I don't think that this will be. I don't think that this will change anything down the road. Like I do honestly think even today, my fintech portfolio is outperforming the S&P 500, and I'm just wondering like maybe we should have a tracker in the side here that just says S&P 500's performance today, the fintech and e-commerce portfolio that Tanner's put together performance every single day. Like let's build a fun stream that is actually enjoyable to watch, that you guys honestly think you would come back to see. Is Tanner outperforming the market? Maybe I'll do conversations or questions from particular people. Do you guys want to have people on during these 30 minutes? Should this 30 minutes be 20 minutes? Should it be 45 minutes? What do you guys want? I'm trying to give you guys what you want. So it was a quieter stream today, but let's see. Have you seen the video of Peter Thiel roasting Google CEO? No, but I don't like their CEO either. I think what's his name? The Microsoft CEO. Oh my God, I'm blanking here. I think he's a true killer, like unbelievable. Bring Jesse on? I try almost every day. Yeah, Satya Nadella is an absolute champion compared to Sundar. So I think that Chris guy, the family guy. Oh, Chris Hager. Yeah, no, me and Chris Hager talk a lot. So maybe actually not much, too much like lately in the last 2 weeks or so, but that's just because I've been, I think, daily streaming. So I still have a full-time job, people. This is like what I do. I change after work and then I come on here and then, do this and then, yeah, so who knows? And then I also try to do the actual podcast. Have you guys actually watched the podcast with Curran from the Fintech channel on YouTube? That was a very exciting one. I know that it had quite a few views, so it was probably a higher likelihood that you guys have seen it. But if you haven't, go check that out because it's a really good call. And then I pitched him on Nubank, so we'll have to see if he adds that to his portfolio. I like the stuff that Joseph Carlson does. No, you're not the type to just show your own portfolio, though. Yeah, I'm not just based on, my own family stuff, but or family and friends, just, the community around me. But maybe a portfolio that I build within, like Stephen Fiorillo does that for Seeking Alpha. And he's telling me how much success he saw from, people really wanting to see the actual portfolio grow over the next weeks or months or however. And that could be really interesting. So maybe something like, I don't know, $100 every single day. That could be fun. It could grow at a good pace where people are excited to come back. Because I don't want to do lump sums either, because then there's not I don't know. I think a nice sort of pack would be fun. But if you guys have any questions, whatever happened to Bull Academy? I have no idea. No idea. If you guys have any questions or any tips or anything, I would love to hear your opinions. I answer everyone back on Twitter unless you're just trolling. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what you guys have to say, because that has a large impact on where this thing is actually going to go is what you guys think. So, and also to the guy that said I look sad in my thing, I just checked my thumbnail. I don't even look that sad. I'm just sitting there, man. Okay. Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate that, man. What's your price target for PayPal? Right now, it's between $90 and $100, depending on how greedy the market feels. So I can't slap an exact number on when I'm going to sell this stock, right? My intrinsic value for the stock, what I want it to see is $90. That's what I think is fair. But if the market is just ripping, maybe I'll wait till 100. But I don't think this will be a $200 stock. I I think that would get extremely frothy because the market for them is shrinking. Like margins are the lifeblood. Customers and margins are the lifeblood of every single company. And PayPal has seen stagnant customers and a declining margin. So that can't last forever, ladies and gentlemen. you know, and that does factor in Braintree and Venmo and all these things. So build a portfolio from and build a portfolio from scratch and track it. Are valuations even real if they change based on macro? That sounds like a psychological question. I mean, yeah, like markets will shift both above and below fair value. But what I think is true is that I think valuation is if you were to buy the entire company. What would you buy the entire company for? Not fractions. I'm going a long show again. People are asking questions all of a sudden. New seems to have a high PE. Caught a Seeking Alpha article suggesting that they had to grow fast over the next few years to catch up. Doesn't that suggest that the share price won't climb for now? I mean, that does suggest that, but I don't think growth is anywhere near slowing down. And I don't think that there's anything suggesting that the PE can't stay up that high. I don't think any financial or any sort of large institutional investor thinks or is comparing this to a JP Morgan or any other bank or SoFi or anything like this. This is a category in its own. It's comparing Tesla to the rest of the automakers. If you're looking at it through other automakers, lens, then you're going to think it's overvalued. If you take it as a new market-setting, market-creating company, then there absolutely has to be a higher valuation placed on that company. And maybe one day it'll stay stagnant, but that won't be today. This is a massive bank that could have great impacts on dividends, on share buybacks as it becomes more and more profitable, breaking in internationally all over Africa and Latin America and Hispanic markets in America for now. I mean, if Nubank came to Canada, I would get a card. I mean, they're an amazing company. Who is your favorite CEO? I mean, I'm just going to answer the first name that came to my mind, and that would be Mark Benioff from Salesforce. I'd say he's the best CEO that I've ever followed. Elon Musk is exciting, obviously. The one that I always think is so funny, and it's the company that I bet the most on. I think he's one of the smartest dudes that I've ever followed, is Tobias Lutke. And that's the Shopify CEO. He is so smart, but that man never speaks. like if you ever go to any Shopify conference or anything, it's Harley that you end up seeing, right? It's so weird that he's so behind the scenes, but also the CEO. But I wouldn't even call him a CEO. I mean, that's what he is. But he's the founder. He is the creator behind the entire company. But I honestly think that that's a weird one. But the first name that comes to mind for me would be Mark Benioff. Yeah, I think that man's a genius, like a literal genius. And also a large position in my portfolio as well. But that's one I don't like to talk about. Steve Jobs, always a visionary CEO. Yeah, I didn't really I see a lot of the old videos of Steve Jobs, but I don't actually get to see him now. And I wasn't really I was too young for Steve Jobs. So that's not one that really rings a bell for me. What is my view on the KKR deal? You'll have to just go back. That's what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. Very exciting, though. Very good. $1 billion of repurchases. The other $800 million will go back into more buy now, pay later. So if they don't need to, use that free cash flow in order to grow their markets, and they could sell off their loans to go after more growth because they think the market demands that, then that's amazing. That's what every lender should do. That's what every bank does. That's what PayPal's stance in the market does now. Did you see the GAAP, non-GAAP question? No, I have no idea what you're talking about. How far up was this? Can you just write the question again? I did not see that. Ren, my Tanara. Is that my girl name? I can't believe Jesse donated $100 today. That's nuts, man. That's nuts. Just watching someone online, you know, like I'm aware $100 is not much, like especially for him. But like that's a whole other thing. What do you think about OGI? I don't think I know what you're talking about. OGI. Is this a stock? Is this a ticker? Organigram. I think I held this company before. Is this a weed stock? Yeah, I think I've held this company before. So whenever I first started getting into the markets, I was originally buying Tesla and stuff, and then I got into the weed boom, and my portfolio exploded because I was buying companies like Canopy Growth, Organigram. There was a couple more. I don't follow the market at all anymore. But Canopy Growth was really the one that took my portfolio to sort of a different area, because I was invested like 90% into that stock, and just I knew the market was going to blow up because there was rumors that it was going to go, not public, but legal in Canada. And so I think I bought Canopy Growth at like $4 or so, and then sold out of it at like $48. And then people were calling me an idiot because it ran up to like 70. Which in hindsight, I mean, that does suck. But I mean, I think I like 12x'd my position on 80 something or 90 something percent of my portfolio. It was nuts. And then ever since then, that's when I became a stock fanatic and just tracked it like crazy, because I was very lucky. And then luck turned into, how do I actually recognize these? Like, why did that go up? How can I recreate that on a non-luck basis? And sort of that idea of finding, betting on what I thought was going to be the future got really exciting. And I was in the tech world. Look how pale I am, people. I mean, I almost look ill. Like the camera does me no justice. I swear I don't look this gross. But that being said, I am a tech nerd. I love everything that has to do with like, Tesla was really exciting. I tracked the company like crazy because they had a better product than their competitors, and that's all I cared about. I was not an auto person. I didn't care about, American gas cars is where it has. No, I wasn't anything like that. So I bet on this company that was just a better product, and it worked. I bet on Nvidia because that product is just like, I was in the gaming space. Take some vitamin D. I take 3,000 IUs a day. So take 3 little of those pills. I do. But that doesn't make you more tan, my friend. But literally, because I was into like building computers and gaming at the time, I knew that a lot of people liked Nvidia way more than AMD. AMD was more like for overclocking and these sorts of things, and it just wasn't really as big as Nvidia. And whenever I was actually building my computers, I just loved Nvidia the most, and I knew the power of it. And then I had an amazing buying opportunity after Bitcoin crashed, and I knew, okay, like there was a little bit of a run up. I literally thought the stock was like way too hot whenever Bitcoin was happening. Okay, we are so far over. I'm not going to bring up any charts. This is for another day. Just it's funny how you end up getting into into the stock market. Come to Texas for a week. Yeah. I mean, that might happen if Riley invites me. He's actually up here. We haven't even seen him. 30 minutes is an hour. Yeah. I mean, whenever I'm having fun, and I find it like what I need to do. I don't know. What I need from you guys is send me a couple DMs on ideas that you guys think that I should focus on for these conversations, or even admit like I want to figure out a way for me to make this more interactive for you guys, more fun, more educational, and because I really do like the live streams, but I don't know. We'll see. It's just, this is a game of trial and error, right? So yeah, let me know what you guys like. If you guys like the hour better, then hey. All right. I was just in Mississauga. I am not in Mississauga. So no, I'm more in the Toronto area. Anyway, I'll see you guys later, okay? Portfolio review. Yeah, we'll do something like what, for you guys, or building a portfolio? Mike, Twitter, man. Twitter. That's where I can talk, better than a stream of tweets. Thanks so much, guys. Peace.